Okay, we're back. We got the blue tape on, touched up a few areas that needed it, and I've got my paint mixed up. I'm using this Model Master enamel. I'm going to call it chocolate brown because if I try to say the German name, I'm sure I'm going to butcher it, but it's something like Schokoladenbraun, something like that. It's chocolate brown. That's just the color I've chosen for this. I just wanted a dark brown. So I'm just going to very lightly apply it. I'll turn my pressure down a little bit on the airbrush. Okay. When you're painting anything like this that has been masked, you don't want to put a real heavy coat of paint on, because if there's any chance that it's going to seep underneath the masking tape, the heavier you put it on, the more that chance is. This would be a very wet coat and it'll seep underneath. Getting inside the window sills. And inside the door frame. And we'll continue on the front. I just keep going around until I get it as dark as I want it. I think that right there is going to be good, so I'll give that a few minutes to dry and then we'll pull that tape off and see what it looks like. Okay, I've given the paint a couple of minutes to dry. Now, I think I mentioned on a previous video that I prefer to use water-based paints most of the time, and that is true. However, on this project I used all enamels because I wanted them to dry very quickly so that I could get on with doing this demonstration. But they work out fine, but the water base is what I really prefer to use. But let's just peel some of these off and see what we got. A little bit of overspray there. Now, before I even go any further, hopefully you can see here the effect of the airbrushing. What I first did the white, or that off-white, and then I did that shadowing. Now, hopefully on the video you can see that it really gives it a feeling of depth. That extra little step really adds a lot. So if you have any reservations about whether or not to bother with that extra step, that little shadowing, it makes a huge difference. And I'd be happy to confess where I got that idea, and that was at Walt Disney World in Florida at the Epcot Center. You walk around to the different lands, and I saw some half-timber buildings there that they had done. You know, everything there, of course, is kind of fake. You know, it's probably all fiberglass or whatever, but so they ended up painting, and they did this. I looked at the method they used in painting, and they did that sort of shadowing. And I said, wow, that really makes a big difference. So I tried it, and sure enough, just adds an extra dimension to the model. And it's a real simple process. It only takes a few seconds. Okay, well there it is. And that looks pretty cool. It is not perfect. I did this very fast so that I could do it for the video. There's a few areas that I could touch up with a brush where I scratched it a little bit with the knife as I was pulling the tape off. But overall, I think that effect is pretty cool. Especially if you're doing a lot of these. You know, I've got a whole stack of them here that I want to do. I'll just tape them all up. Just go in the house, sit at my desk, and do the cutting, and come back out here and spray them, and I'll have a whole batch of them done in very short order. And it's a whole lot easier than trying to paint every single line, which is, again, not that difficult to do, just very time consuming. And if you make a mistake, it's very hard to fix. So there you go. That's my cool new method for painting half-timber buildings. Now this is a 20mm model. The 15s will work exactly the same way. They're just a little smaller, so a little smaller details that you've got to cut out. But the thickness of the half-timbers are the same. Everything's just about 25% smaller. So hopefully you liked that, and you'll try that method, and hopefully you'll have some good luck with it.